Most people think their biggest enemy is the world, the bills, the pressure, the people. But the truth? It's their emotions. They feel something, and they act. No filter, no pause, just pure reaction. They confuse mood with reality. Feel tired? Don't move. Feel hurt? Explode. Feel disrespected? Lash out. And they call that being real. But the Stoic, he knew better. He knew emotions are real, but not always reliable. He didn't kill his feelings. He controlled them, not to become cold, but to become clear. Because clarity doesn't come from expression, it comes from discipline. Discipline isn't about doing what you feel like. It's about doing what must be done, especially when you don't feel like it. The Stoic didn't wait for motivation. He didn't beg for inspiration. He woke up. He acted. He trained the mind like a soldier sharpens his blade, through repetition, not emotion. You want peace? Then train for war, not out there, but in here. Because every day, your emotions will challenge you. They'll try to steer you off path. They'll say, sleep in. They'll say, snap back. They'll say, you deserve to quit. But discipline doesn't speak in excuses. It speaks in action. The Stoic knows, you don't control what you feel, but you do control what you do. And that's what separates the grounded from the scattered, the master from the slave. Most men are ruled by moods. They call it following your gut, but it's not your gut, it's your impulse. They change their goals depending on how they feel. They start with energy and quit with excuses, because they've built their lives around emotion, not execution. But the Stoic doesn't need to feel like doing something in order to do it. He already decided. He already made the contract with himself. And that's the difference. You either live from feeling or from commitment. One moves with the wind, the other moves the wind. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop needing to be in the mood. If you know what matters, then act like it. And if you're someone who's building that kind of focus, quietly, without applause, hit subscribe and ring the bell. We don't hype here, we train here. Discipline isn't sexy, it doesn't go viral, it's not loud, but it works, every time. Because discipline is undefeated over time. It outlasts talent, it outperforms emotion, it outbuilds hype. You can be gifted, you can be passionate, but if you crumble every time you don't feel like it, you'll keep starting over, again and again. The Stoic understood that the mind is a muscle. You don't strengthen it by doing what's easy. You strengthen it by doing what's necessary. That's why you train, not because you feel like it, but because you said you would. The Stoic doesn't make emotion the villain. He just doesn't let it drive the vehicle. It can ride in the back, but it doesn't touch the wheel. You want to change your life? Then stop worshiping the feeling. Start honoring the process. And when the mood fades, the fire stays. Because it's no longer built on feeling. It's built on choice. You think discipline is about control, but it's more than that. It's about trust. Can you trust yourself to do what's right, even when every feeling begs you not to? Most people can't, because they've trained themselves to follow impulse, to listen to fear, to obey doubt. But the Stoic, he builds something different, a quiet confidence, a steady mind, a backbone forged in repetition. He doesn't scream discipline, he moves like it, he lives like it, and it shows, not in his words, but in his patterns. While others are ruled by their inner storms, he builds a fortress inside, brick by brick, day by day, decision by decision. That's what real strength looks like, not shouting over your emotions, but walking through them without breaking formation. Because when you no longer need the world to be perfect, when you stop waiting to be in the mood, you become untouchable. When discipline leads, emotions learn their place. You don't erase them, you don't shame them, you just stop letting them drive your life. That's the Stoic way, to feel fully, but obey selectively, to act from clarity, not chaos, to remain rooted while the world is swept away. And that's why discipline is freedom. Because once you can lead yourself, you don't need the world to go your way. You become the way. So when the pressure hits, and the noise rises, and every part of you wants to quit, you don't fold, you breathe, you choose, and you move, on principle, not permission. That's how Stoics control their inner world, not by force, but by practice, not to impress, but to endure. And if you've made it this far, maybe you're one of us.